In the world of professional sports, integrity is everything. Every pass, every goal, every whistle matters because fans trust that what they see is real. But in Major League Soccer, a shocking scandal has rocked that trust. On March 9, 2026, MLS announced lifetime bans for two players, Derrick Jones and Yaw Yeboah, after an investigation revealed extensive gambling violations. Reuters.com. According to the league, both players placed bets on MLS matches, including games in which they were directly involved. One particularly striking allegation involved a bet on Jones receiving a yellow card in an October 19, 2024 match between the Columbus Crew and the New York Red Bulls, a bet that came true. While the investigation did not find evidence that referees were influenced, MLS determined that the activity violated league integrity policies and potentially involved sharing insider information with gamblers. The investigation itself began in 2025 after suspicious betting activity triggered internal alerts. Provisional suspensions were immediately placed on both players, while league officials conducted a thorough review of transactions, betting patterns, and communications that suggested repeated and deliberate violations. The consequences of these actions are severe. Derrick Jones, who previously played for Columbus Crew, had his contract option declined in November 2025. Yaw Yeboah, meanwhile, had moved to Qingdao Hainou in China, but the league's ruling still applied because the violations occurred while he was an MLS player. For both, the lifetime ban means that they cannot play in any MLS-sanctioned competition again. Commissioner Don Garber emphasized that the league's approach is non-negotiable. MLS takes gambling violations seriously. Protecting the integrity of our competition is paramount, and any behavior that undermines that will face the strictest consequences. Reuters.com. For the league, this scandal is more than about the money. It's about trust that players will compete fairly, that fans can rely on honest results, and that betting markets cannot compromise the game. MLS officials warned that even bets on yellow cards or statistical outcomes, often overlooked in sports betting culture, are considered serious breaches when they involve active players. As this story unfolds, the focus will remain on how professional athletes interact with gambling markets, the internal mechanisms MLS uses to detect suspicious activity, and the chilling message this sends to others who might consider similar actions. For soccer fans and aspiring players alike, the consequences are clear. Violating gambling rules can end a career overnight. And for Derrick Jones and Yaw Yeboah, the scandal has left them permanently barred from the league they once called home. Once MLS officials identified the suspicious betting patterns, the investigation quickly intensified. The league's integrity unit dug deep into financial records, betting logs, and communications linked to Derrick Jones and Yaw Yeboah. Reuters.com. One of the most alarming discoveries was the pattern of bets placed on matches involving their own teams. While the players didn't appear to influence referees or match outcomes directly, MLS concluded that placing bets on one's own performance or team's results is a grave violation of league rules. Even wagers on specific statistical events, such as yellow cards, were deemed illegal under MLS gambling policies. The league's integrity team examined transactions over 2 seasons, from 2024 to 2025, and found repeated activity across multiple games. Evidence suggested that both players were aware of the rules, but proceeded regardless, a factor that contributed to the severity of the lifetime bans. Officials also noted that these bets occurred in contexts where internal team information could provide an unfair advantage to external bettors. Provisional suspensions were immediately implemented in October 2025 once preliminary findings became clear. During this period, the league interviewed teammates, coaching staff, and front office personnel to understand the scope of the alleged misconduct. Investigators also reviewed communications between the players and betting operators, tracing how wagers were placed and monitoring for any signs of collusion or attempted cover-ups. The investigation revealed that only a fraction of these bets were small wagers, but the consistent pattern indicated deliberate behavior rather than occasional lapses in judgment. In the world of professional sports, even a single infraction can damage the integrity of the competition, and multiple violations raise questions about a player's commitment to fair play. MLS officials emphasized that the investigation was meticulous, leaving no detail unchecked. Every suspicious bet was documented, every email reviewed, and every account traced. The evidence was robust enough to withstand scrutiny from legal experts and the league's disciplinary committees. As details leaked to the press, the scandal began to dominate headlines in the soccer world. Fans, analysts, and rival players debated the implications of the bans, wondering how such misconduct could go unnoticed for multiple seasons. Social media erupted with opinions, often polarized, with some calling the punishment harsh and others praising the league for protecting the sport's integrity. By the time the league announced the lifetime bans, the investigation had firmly established a narrative of deliberate and repeated gambling violations. MLS had sent a clear signal: no player, regardless of talent or status, is above the rules, and violations that threaten the credibility of the game will face the harshest possible penalties. The stage was now set for understanding the deeper consequences, both for the players' careers and for the league itself, as the scandal rippled through the world of professional soccer. As MLS prepared to take decisive action, the focus shifted to internal inquiries and interviews. League officials, compliance officers, and integrity investigators conducted in-depth interrogations with players, staff, and associates connected to Derrick Jones and Yaw Yeboah. The questioning was precise and unrelenting. Investigators sought to uncover whether the players had acted alone, shared information with outside bettors, or tried to influence match outcomes. They reviewed betting accounts, digital communications, and financial transfers in meticulous detail, leaving no stone unturned. Every suspicious message or transaction was cross-referenced against official match reports and referee logs. Teammates were asked to recount interactions with Jones and Yeboah before and during matches where suspicious bets were placed. Coaches provided context about training sessions, tactical discussions, and disciplinary records. While the investigation found no evidence that referees had been manipulated, the repeated betting activity clearly demonstrated that both players had knowingly violated league rules. MLS also examined potential accomplices outside the team. Gambling operators, online platforms, and payment intermediaries were contacted to trace bets and confirm patterns of activity. Investigators pieced together a timeline showing repeated wagers placed during key moments in matches where one or both players were involved. In one particularly striking instance, a bet on Derrick Jones receiving a yellow card came true during a critical October 2024 match, emphasizing the precision and awareness behind the wagers. Legal counsel for the league emphasized the importance of fairness in interrogations. Every question was documented, and players were allowed representation, ensuring the process was thorough and defensible in case of appeals. Both Jones and Yeboah were given opportunities to explain their actions, but their accounts did not dispute the evidence. Instead, the interviews revealed acknowledgement of the bets and an understanding that the activity was prohibited. Public attention increased as details of the interrogations leaked to journalists. Fans and analysts debated the severity of potential punishments, noting that while match fixing had not been proven, betting by active players posed a significant threat to the integrity of the sport. The league's stance became increasingly clear. Intent, repeated activity, and potential advantage from insider knowledge were enough to justify harsh penalties. By the conclusion of the questioning phase, MLS had built a comprehensive picture. The pattern was deliberate, methodical, and in clear violation of established rules. Investigators presented their findings to the disciplinary committee, highlighting the scope, repetition, and potential risks associated with a player's gambling behavior. These interrogations were pivotal. They transformed raw suspicion into actionable evidence and set the stage for the life bans that would later shake the soccer world, demonstrating MLS's unwavering commitment to protecting the integrity of the game. Understanding why Derrick Jones and Yaw Yeboah allegedly placed bets on MLS matches requires looking beyond the surface. On the individual level, financial gain is the most obvious motive. Professional athletes often face intense pressure to maximize their earnings, and the lure of sports betting, especially on one's own performance, can appear tempting. Jones and Yeboah were both established players in the league, yet the investigation revealed a pattern of deliberate wagers that suggested a calculated approach rather than impulsive gambling. This indicates more than casual betting. It reflects an awareness of the insider advantages accessible to active athletes, even without influencing referees. But the implications extend far beyond personal profit. MLS's gambling policy exists to protect the credibility of every match, ensuring fans and stakeholders can trust outcomes. When players place bets on their own matches, the integrity of the league is compromised, even if no direct manipulation occurs. Fans, sponsors, and global observers begin to question whether every goal, every yellow card, every crucial play is authentic. The league's investigation highlighted systemic vulnerabilities as well. With the rise of digital betting platforms, it has become increasingly difficult to monitor all transactions in real time. MLS officials acknowledged that while they maintain robust integrity protocols, the sophistication of modern betting operations requires constant vigilance. Sophisticated platforms can obscure identities, process microtransactions, and exploit loopholes that were previously non-existent. This scandal also raises broader questions about education and support for players. Are athletes fully aware of the risks associated with certain bets? Are there sufficient preventative measures in place to discourage gambling on live matches? In the case of Jones and Yeboah, the league's findings suggest that existing policies alone were insufficient to deter repeated violations. The consequences of these actions resonate at every level, beyond the life bans themselves. This case sends a message to all players, staff, and stakeholders in MLS. No individual is above the rules, and any behavior that threatens competitive fairness will face the harshest penalties. The reputational damage is also significant. Sponsors and fans take note whenever a league must enforce such extreme sanctions, and trust, once shaken, is difficult to restore. Globally, other soccer leagues and sports organizations are watching closely. MLS's response could serve as a template for handling similar violations elsewhere, reinforcing a zero-tolerance approach to gambling misconduct. The case of Jones and Yeboah demonstrates that ethical governance and player accountability are inseparable from the credibility of professional sports. In the end, the scandal is not only about money or rule-breaking. It's a stark lesson in how personal decisions intersect with systemic integrity, and how even a single violation can have ripple effects that challenge the reputation of an entire league. The culmination of the MLS gambling investigation sent shockwaves through the soccer community. On March 9, 2026, the league confirmed that Derrick Jones and Yaw Yeboah had been banned for life, ending any chance of their return to Major League Soccer. Reuters.com. This ruling represented the harshest possible sanction for violations of league gambling policies. While no evidence suggested that referees were influenced or match outcomes were directly manipulated, MLS deemed the repeated betting activity a serious threat to competitive integrity. Bets placed on personal performance and specific in-game events, such as yellow cards, were deemed sufficient to justify lifetime exclusion from the league. For Derrick Jones, the ban came shortly after his contract option with Columbus Crew had been declined. Yaw Yeboah, who had moved abroad to Qingdao Hainiu in China, also faced the same permanent restriction from MLS competition. Both players had their careers effectively halted within the league, underscoring the gravity of the violation. Commissioner Don Garber emphasized that the decision was not just punitive but protective. MLS must ensure that every game is fair, that the integrity of our league remains uncompromised, and that players, fans, and partners can trust the competition, he said. The message was clear. Violations, even if they do not alter match outcomes, cannot be tolerated. The fallout extended beyond the individual players. Analysts and fans debated the implications for the league's reputation, sponsorships, and global standing. The case highlighted the need for stronger preventive measures, including education for players about the consequences of gambling, enhanced monitoring of betting activity, and collaboration with authorities to detect suspicious patterns before they escalate. Social media exploded with reactions, ranging from shock to support for MLS's hardline stance. Some critics argued that the punishment was severe, noting that the players did not engage in match fixing. Others praised the league, calling it a necessary step to preserve trust and set a precedent for future conduct. The scandal also serves as a cautionary tale for professional athletes worldwide. Even minor engagement with gambling on one's own sport can carry career-ending consequences. The case reinforces that accountability in sports is not optional, and ethical conduct is inseparable from professional success. In the aftermath, MLS reiterated that vigilance and transparency would remain priorities. Systems for reporting suspicious betting activity will be strengthened, and players will be educated continuously to prevent similar incidents. For Derrick Jones and Yaw Yeboah, the scandal marks a career-defining moment, one that ended abruptly and irreversibly. For MLS, it is a defining example of zero tolerance for gambling misconduct and a reminder that the integrity of the game always comes first. As fans reflect on the events, the question lingers: how many other undiscovered violations might be hidden in professional sports, waiting for justice to uncover them?